It's Wolf back with another CD review. Today we're going to look at Mr. Clean from Young Gravy. So before I get into it, I want to mention this one, like the McCafferty album that I reviewed like a couple months ago. I don't know how long it's been. They're both albums that are, I think, only distributed on CD through Amazon's creator program thing. And if I remember right, I kind of explained that in the McCafferty video, so if you want to know what I'm talking about, you can check that out. I mean to make a longer video explaining it more in depth at some point, because there's a lot of people that will get these CDs and then think that they're fake, even though they are actually official CDs printed through Amazon. Using the creators of the albums use Amazon as their creation service or whatever. Anyway, you guys probably get what I mean. So that's kind of why this album, the artwork is a little weird on it, as y'all can probably already see. But anyway, looking at the cover, you have the album art that you would normally see on the download or really any format of it. It says Mr. Clean. It's sort of old school looking, almost like an old advertisement from the 50s or 60s, which fits with Young Gravy's whole sort of theme of era. He goes for a lot of that sort of 50s, 60s era stuff. A lot of his cover art is like that, so it fits, I think, really well with the whole thing Young Gravy is going for. And then it says Mr. Clean, and down the bottom right, Gravy, so you have album title and artist name, sort of, not Young Gravy, but yeah, you guys get what I mean. The only thing is that since this is one of these Amazon albums, as you guys can see, behind the actual cover art, there's another picture that's of some water and stuff, I believe. You guys will see sort of the rest of that picture as the art goes on, because it's one of those, generic pictures. Like I said before, Amazon's printing, publishing, creation tools can actually be really hard to use because they want you to either have, perfectly dimensioned artwork or to use one of their templates. And so if you try to do one of their templates but with your own art, it comes out weird. I've talked before about how I have a book that's on Amazon that I made through their Kindle Direct Publishing, and it's similar tools, I believe, to what they would use for the music albums. And it always just it's hard if you don't have anything perfectly sized to actually get it to look professional, because it just comes out wonky because of the way it's set up. So anyway, the actual cover art that you would see on the digital version of the album, the center picture here, looks really good and I think is fitting, but it does look kind of odd against that backdrop of being over another picture. On the side, you have Young Gravy, Mr. Clean EP. It's in Times New Roman pretty much, so not really anything fancy with the font. You can see it fine, I believe. I'm in kind of a dark room right now and I can see it fine, but it is white on light gray, so I mean, it could be better, but it's readable. I kind of wish the font had been something different, but again, because of it being one of those Amazon printed CDs, the options are kind of limited, I believe. And you can also see that it sort of continues that picture that's on the front with the ocean and the rocks and stuff, but you can't really see it on the front, but you guys get what I mean. So it continues on to the side with that. On the back, you have more of that picture with the ocean and rocks and sky and stuff, and you also have a track list. You have Young Gravy, Mr. Clean EP, and then the 5 tracks and their lengths. So it tells you all the information, but again, it's pretty generic. The track lengths are a nice touch, though. A lot of albums don't have track length, and that, I don't know, it's not, the more information you can fit onto your artwork, the better it is, I'd say. So it's nice to see that. Although, again, everything that an album should have is there, but it's all just sort of generic. So I mean, it does its job, but it doesn't really do anything fancy. But again, you can't really hold that against Young Gravy or any of the album art designers, because doing this through Amazon really does limit their options quite a bit. Inside the case on the CD, you also have more of that picture with the ocean. This time you have a tiny little bit of rock in the bottom right and the sky and everything. And don't get me wrong, that picture is also a nice picture, but the fact is that it's generic and it doesn't really fit with the artwork. And then also not fit with the artwork. It doesn't really fit with the theme of the album or Young Gravy. And then also having different artwork that's overlaid on top of it on the cover is kind of weird. The CD says he's Young Gravy, Mr. Clean EP, so it's always nice to have artist and album on the actual CD in case you ever lose the case. Again, Times New Roman pretty much, really kind of generic, but can't really complain about that too much because it was sort of out of their hands. Behind the CD, picture of the sky, looks nice, doesn't really fit with the theme, but as I keep saying, not really their fault. Kind of out of their hands when you do stuff through Amazon. On the insert, on the back of the insert, you guys can see it's just the same as the back of the album. Again, the track list, same picture and everything. The insert doesn't actually have anything in it either, I don't believe. It's just repeated pictures. Yeah, it's just track list and stuff again. The track list is like a little bit differently written on one of the pages, but it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. Because, like I keep saying, it's really hard whenever an artist does these albums through Amazon to actually make them look like really good, because they get all the information out there. You know, you have track list, you have album name, you have artist name, you have track length, you have everything you really need. However, it's just so generically done because it's meant to be just mass-produced CDs. I will say, though, it is still nice to have this on a physical format, even if it isn't necessarily the prettiest one. Because, so far as I know, this is the only Young Gravy... Well, this isn't really an album, it's an EP. The only set of Young Gravy songs officially available on a CD. I don't believe that there's any other compilations of Young Gravy songs that are available physically through any official means, except for this one through Amazon. So there is that. Speaking of songs and stuff, let's talk about the actual music. Young Gravy is an artist that has been on the rise. He has gained quite a bit of momentum from when I first started listening to him. He got popular sort of through memes, but also through just pure talent, because he is a very good rapper. This album is some of his earlier songs, and it includes one of the songs that sort of really got him started, which was Mr. Clean. That was one of the ones that became really popular. And also a bunch of other songs. I mean, Young Gravy has, like, he's one of these artists that you could say every single song is good, because every song that Young Gravy does do is pretty good. So all the songs in this album are pretty good. They all have that Young Gravy flow to them, you know, that creamy creamy brown. But yeah, I mean, Young Gravy's a good rapper. All the features, there's a couple features on this album, they all do very well. The beats are good. I mean, a lot of you guys have probably heard these songs before because Young Gravy has been on the rise as an artist, and I know that he's gotten some play on radio even and stuff in some places, on like college radio especially, because I've played him on college radio. And yeah, so far as I know, Young Gravy's music is available on streaming services. A lot of it's available on YouTube, so you can find it pretty easily to listen to. I would definitely suggest listening to it. Even if you don't buy the CD, definitely take a listen, because Young Gravy is genuinely a very talented artist. He has very good flow. He's very good with just goofy rhymes and goofy rapping, which is nice to see. His rap is pretty calm, actually. It's not super hyped up like a lot of other rappers. It's pretty chilled out, which is also a nice difference from a lot of rap. So definitely check Young Gravy out. I don't know if I really would recommend buying the CD version of this EP, because also, along with all of the artwork things, this is only 5 songs and it's a $10 CD. So it's like $2 per song, and you could probably save yourself some money by just buying the digital version of it. I mean, definitely check out Young Gravy, but I don't know if I would suggest to actually get the CD version of this album unless you really like physical media like me. But definitely, nonetheless, listen to Young Gravy. Don't let the fact that the Amazon production services are kind of wonky and made the CD look kind of ugly take away from the fact that Young Gravy is a very good rapper. So check out Young Gravy, maybe check out the CD, and that's about it. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the future with more CD reviews and everything. Bye-bye.